International backlash is building today against Donald Trump's vows to acquire both Greenland and the Panama Canal. First, it was a Danish member of the European Parliament who used some colorful language to reject the idea that Denmark would ever sell Greenland.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, off.
If the translation was correct, the term you used is not allowed in this House. Regardless of what we think of Mr. Trump, it is not possible to use such language.
And then, just this morning at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, here's what the president of Panama said when he was asked about Trump's threats to take the canal by force.
Mr. President, are you worried about an American invasion?
Lo mismo que allá.
Have you congratulated Mr. Trump yet?
Por favor, presidente.
Be serious, be serious.
Would you like to congratulate Mr. Trump?
I already did when he won.
Let's bring in Eugene Daniels, White House correspondent for Politico and an MSNBC political contributor. This is where we are now, Eugene. But look, Panama's president said, be serious, right? So there are a lot of people who are asking, is Trump serious? Is the Panama Canal a hill he's willing to die on? How serious is he?
I think what he's serious about is the concept of kind of America expanding and the idea of America becoming, bigger in a way that really the country hasn't done in a very long time. I also think it's more of a show of strength, right? He wants folks to see this country as one that has the capability of expanding to other countries that folks are taking over the Panama Canal, which is not as easy. Is not easy. It's easier said than done, right? That's at the top of the list. But I do think this is one of those things that if you know Donald Trump, as we all do, when he kind of gets obsessed with something, it keeps coming up and it keeps coming back. And he has talked to his aides about what that would actually look like, both for Greenland and for the Panama Canal. And it's not something that other presidents have never talked about, right? George W. Bush talked about the Panama Canal, for example. That's something that has been a part of the conversation. I think because of the way that Donald Trump does it, people seem to want to think that it's a joke. It's hard to know what's going on in Donald Trump's head. And if he was serious when he said he's not ruling out kind of any military or economic powers to take over these areas and these places. But he is serious about the expansion of the country in some kind of way, because he knows that it speaks to his base.
Well, Politico has been reporting that Greenland's prime minister said he is working to arrange a meeting with Donald Trump. How do you see this desire by Trump to take over Greenland? Population, I think, 57,000 playing out. Yeah. Will they meet, you think?
Probably not well, because it's been made very clear is that they're not for sale. It would have to actually, the Danish would actually have to sell it to us. And as we heard from the floor, that is not the case. He used an expletive in when he was talking about it, that minister, but it's been very clear that is not what's happening. But it will bring these folks to Donald Trump. It will make them have a conversation with him. I spoke to the Canadian prime minister, the Canadian ambassador a few weeks ago about him talking about Justin Trudeau as the 51st governor of the governor of the 51st state. And what they said is what leaders around the country around the world are trying to figure out is, when is Donald Trump just messing with them? When is he just joking with them? And when are these things serious? But they're not taking these things as serious as a lot of us might be, because they're trying to get relationships with him and figure out what to do, because he will be president and have to engage with him over the next 4 years.
Yeah, it's a fine line to walk, right? One of the non-profane statements that I found very interesting came from a Danish government conservative MP who said this level of disrespect from the coming U.S. president toward very, very loyal allies and friends is record-setting. Eugene Daniels. Well, we know President Trump always likes to set records and do the best. So there you have it. Always good to see you, my friend.